super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 2065 from Paperclips to Pedigrees. It's just random. Tonight's just random. We've got a bit of this, a bit of that. It's all random. And you may have noticed our QR code has changed because we have got coming up next Tuesday on April 1st. Can you believe next Tuesday is going to be April already? We're already through the first quarter of the year. Whoo! How's it going on your New Year's resolutions, on your goals for 2025? Where are you at? Are you on target? Are you ahead? Are you a little behind? It's okay. It's just the first quarter. But anyway, so happening on Tuesday, we have got coming up a free online lead generation intensive course. The course goes for about an hour. Then there's an hour of Q&A after that. But they are going to be revealing in this workshop, they're going to be revealing 13 insanely effective ways to generate leads that your competitors pray you never find out about. So you'll uncover 13 cutting edge out of the box lead generation strategies curated and used by industry expert. Envision your sales pipeline bursting at the seams with eager prospects ready to buy from you. Dominate your market with leads pouring in from sources your competitors have never even heard of. And they're going to be doing 1 hour exclusive access to a live overview of 13 ways to generate leads so that you know exactly how to implement them for maximum impact. And then 1 hour Q&A sessions with experts who have successfully used these strategies to skyrocket their own business. So if you'd like to join us for that, scan the code up here and go register. It's free. And it starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so that's that bit of random piece out of the way. So what other random things? So I've been going through some boxes today. I had a crazy schedule today. It was crazy. It was totally awesome. I had some amazing conversations today. And I also got a couple of boxes going through and things. And I found some random bits and pieces. And I thought, well, that might be interesting to talk about at some point. So I'm going to start at the top of this pile and go down. I'm actually going to put them in size order. There we go. My show, I can do what I like. This is the first one I found, and this was the Diamond Club. It expired in 2015, but that's okay. We renewed it. This was my membership card for the Diamond Club for the San Diego Zoo, and we could go in for free. We could have a certain number of guests we could take in for free with us. When Brad passed, we still paid the same membership fee, but it meant that every time I went to the zoo, I could take a guest with me, which was awesome. So yeah, living in San Diego, I use this a lot. I love funnel. I got addicted to funnel cakes here in the States. And I had this hankering for funnel cake. It was not fair season, so I couldn't go to the fair, which was just, a mile as the crow flies from where we were living at the time. It was at the Del Mar racetrack. And we went 1 year to that and got funnel cake, which was pretty good. But I wanted funnel cake in non-fair time. I discovered that at the San Diego Zoo, if you go in the main gate and you go left and you walk all the way down into the kids area, where the kids areas, they've got playgrounds and stuff down there, there's a funnel cake house right there where you can go and order funnel cake. So whenever I got an urging for a funnel cake, free pass to get in, parking was free, toodle off down there, get my funnel cake, maybe go for a walk around the zoo or do the little sky tram thing, or just get my funnel cake and sit down, eat it, and then go. It was really cool because I could come and go as much as I want. I didn't have to walk the whole zoo in a day. I could just do a portion of the zoo. And it was just great just to wander. It's a great place just to wander around and just be. If you don't want to do if you don't want to do certain areas, you don't have to. You can come back another day and do those. If I wanted to do the bus tour thing around there, I could do that. If I wanted to take the sky thingamabob that they have there, I could do that if I wanted to. Get off at the other end and get back on and come back again. The thing I like about the annual pass to places like zoos, to whatever, if you've got an annual pass, you can get a place. Make sure you use it and get the best out of it, and use it often. I mean, it only took me like 20 to 30 minutes to get to the zoo from where we were living. So it's not like I couldn't use the excuse. And if I wanted to, I could also go to the safari park on this as well. So I could either go to the San Diego Zoo or the safari park. And with this card, I got free parking at the safari park. And then I got, of course, free access in there. And I would sometimes just go and sit in there and sit on the tram that does the little tour thingy around the what's it called? It's been a while since I've been there. I could do the little tram bus thingy, which was really cool. Because when you got near the giraffes, sometimes they were really close. Like there'd be like a tree. You're sitting on the edge here. Here's the edge of the tram here, completely open, so it's not enclosed. It's got a roof on it, but there's no windows or anything. It's completely open, and almost within touching distance is a giraffe eating leaves off a tree. It was the coolest thing ever. Loved that, and just loved walking around. And there's certain places, certain animals that I love that I go make sure I go and see when I was visiting and things like that. Great place to go. The zoo and the safari park, awesome places to go. So this was an invaluable investment for us because I loved going there and walking around and just seeing the animals and just sitting there watching them play and just being in the moment with them. Sometimes I took lots of pictures. Sometimes I didn't. It didn't matter. I could come back again. Next thing I found, which was really cool, was this here is a postcard from Armour Waterways. It is actually handwritten on the back. Now, the cool part about this with Armour Waterways, and it is, I can't quite read the stamp, the postmark on that. It goes into the dark blue area up here where I can't read it. But the cool thing about this one, it is handwritten by the cruise manager, which on a cruise ship would be the cruise director. She gets to know all the passengers personally because on a riverboat, you can do that. That's not a big, it's not thousands of people. It's only just a couple of hundred. But it's handwritten by her, and she writes every passenger a postcard at the end of the cruise and mails it. And the other cool part is that they have stacks of postcards there as you walk into the front lounge area, and you are free to go and write whatever you want to write on them. You put an address on them, you drop it off at the front desk, they stamp it and mail it for you, and it doesn't cost you anything. They even pay for the stamp, which is really cool. And of course, it's all the Armour Waterway cards in there, and they have different scenes and all that sort of thing. But oh yeah, and the captain signs them in that little gold bit right there. But it basically says, dear Mr. and Mrs. Brums. This was from 2011, December of 2011, but this wasn't actually sent until January of 2012. I just found the date on it. It says, dear Mr. and Mrs. Brums, we hope you had a wonderful time on board the MS Amelegro. That's an awesome ship. Captain Vlad, cruise manager Chris, hotel manager Artur. Oh, that's the hotel manager's signature there, Artur. All management and the entire crew want to thank you for cruising with us. It would be wonderful if sometime in the near future we could be welcoming you again as our guests on board our beautiful ship. Sincerely. And then it's got Chris and Vlad's signature and Artur's signature. So yeah, it's got them all on there. But isn't that a really cool thing for the crew to do on a river cruise, is to send you a thank you card for saying, hey, thanks for coming on board and being with us and sailing with us and all of that. And oh, that's our, yeah. This guy here was our captain. Who was it? It's Captain Vlad. He was awesome. And we had a really good time on that cruise. Unfortunately, we had a Typhoid Mary on that cruise. And we happened to be at the Prague airport where they met us. And they were taking us to the hotel in Prague because we had the 2 nights in Prague before the cruise. And then we had we actually did 3 nights in Budapest at the end of the cruise. But the 2 nights before we had done through Armour Waterways. And so they met us and put us on a bus to take us to the hotel. And there was one other passenger. There was a passenger there with her mom, and they were also on the bus with us. So there was just the 4 of us, Brad and I, and this girl with her mom. And her mom was in her 80s, I think it was. And so they were on there. And the whole way from the airport to the hotel, we heard about this girl. She hadn't eaten in the last 4 or 5 days. She'd had this stomach upset and everything else. We got to hear all about this. And I'm like thinking, and you flew on a loaded airplane. Now you're on this and you're going to bring it onto because I didn't know how contagious she was. Normally, when we're on ships, if anybody's going to get sick, it's Brad. Not this time. It was me. Which meant I missed Regensburg, which was the one place I wanted to go see. Regensburg is a World Heritage Site. It is it is still as it was during the Renaissance period. And it was one place I wanted to go see, and I missed it. The other thing I missed was the bus trip down to Salzburg to go, see all the Sound of Music stuff and all of that sort of thing. One of my favorite musicals. Missed that too. I spent one day quarantined in my cabin, and yes, but it turned out that it was a 24-hour stomach flu that went through half of everybody on the ship, including half the crew. And our waiter in the dining room that we had each evening, his wife came down with the stomach flu, but he never got it. So yeah, it was a very adventurous one in the fact that happened. But we also got to see some really cool places and try some really cool food. And when we got to Budapest, we had organized that ourselves with our Merit Rewards, and we got 3 nights at the courtyard downtown in Budapest, and it was a great location. From our room, we looked across the road, and there was McDonald's there on the corner of this building. And the amount of people that walked in and out of that place, oh my gosh, there was a lot of people going in and out. Then you go straight ahead down that road, and it was the tram depot for the trams and the buses. So the buses and the trams were all from that. It was their depot. So that's where they all left to go around Budapest. We got a 72-hour Budapest card, which gave us free access. And I think it cost us like $70 per person, or 70 euro. No, I think it worked out $70 American per person. That was for both of us. $70 American for both of us to get the 72-hour pass. And what it meant is that we could go on any of the trains, buses, or trams in the entire city for free with this card. And the whole transportation system is done on the honor system. In some places, they will have like a security guy sitting there, and you have to show them your pass as you go through. Sometimes they would get on the buses or on the trams and come along asking for your tickets. But most of the time, it was an honor system, which was the coolest thing. You didn't have long lines of people waiting for anything, and their transportation system was amazing. You didn't have to wait long for buses, trains, or trams to come along. And even though I didn't speak a lick of Hungarian, we could very easily follow along the maps to see where we were. And we knew which station we had to get off at. And so I could follow as they were calling out the different stations and figure out which one we were getting off at and all that. So that was a really cool trip. And it was a Christmas market cruise. So we got to go to the Christmas markets in Vienna. We did the Christmas markets in Nuremberg. We did the Christmas markets in, where else did we go? The Christmas market, Vienna, Nuremberg, Budapest. Yeah, we did a lot of Christmas markets. It was amazing. It was freezing cold, but I was fine. I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was awesome. We did the Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna, which was an incredible palace. And we got to hear all the history about Empress Teresa. And we even got to see the birthing bed. Let me tell you about this. She had like 14 kids. Not all survived to adulthood. I can't remember how many survived to adulthood. One of them ended up, was it one of hers that ended up marrying Napoleon, I think? I think Josephine was one of her. No, hang on. No, don't quote me on that. Oh, I'll have to go back and look it all up. I have it all written down. But we walk around the corner into this room. There is this semicircle of chairs sitting facing this massive bed. It was massive. It was this big square slab in this room. It probably would have been maybe about 2 king beds across by 2 king beds deep. That's the thing I can think to describe it. So if you take a king bed and you put 4 of them in a room, that's basically about the size of this bed. It might have been larger than that, but it definitely wasn't smaller than that. And it had the circle, and it had the semicircle of chairs all around it. It was the birthing bed. It was where the wife of the emperor or the empress herself, if she was the ruling monarch, so Empress Teresa had to lay on this bed and give birth to her 14 children on this bed, while all of these guys sat around who were some government officials or whatever and witnessed the birth of the child. And I'm like, that poor woman. She's there on this massive slab. I've got no idea how the medical people, they were probably on their knees next to her. I have no idea how the midwifery thing worked at that time or anything else, because there's no way they could stand at the edge of the bed while she's laying in the middle of this bed. I'm just like, all I'm thinking is, this poor woman, she's got to show everything to everybody while she gives birth in her most vulnerable state. And I just felt, my heart just went out to her, and I thought, and she did 14 children. Wow. While these guys just all sat there and watched. while she gave birth to prove that it was her child. And I don't know how many chairs. There was a lot of chairs. Like I said, it was a semicircle around the bed. And if you've got 4 king-size beds pushed together to make this one slab, and then you've got a semicircle of chairs, you can imagine how many chairs are around there. So yeah, that was a really cool trip and all of that sort of thing too. Another one I found, which year was this one from? Oh, 2006. So I found this book from 2006, from the 2006 of Warbirds over Wanaka. It is one of my favorite air shows. It happens every Easter that falls on an even year. So this year, it's not going to be at Wanaka. It's going to be at Omaka, which is up by Blenheim on the top north part of the South Island. Omaka is Peter Jackson's airplane museum thing that he's got there. Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Frighteners, King Kong. What other ones has he done? Rin Tin Tin, a whole bunch of Avatar. His company, can't think of the name of their company now, was also involved with Avatar as well. What was that one with the girls? It was Frighteners that had Michael J. Fox in it. What was the one with the girls? Heavenly Creatures. Yeah, Heavenly Creatures is a story about these 2 girls who are best friends, and they do everything together, always hanging out with each other and all that. And one of the girls, her mother is trying to pull them apart and keep them separate and all that sort of thing. And so they end up murdering her. And so it's that whole story of the before the actual murder taking place and what happened afterwards. So when they got kept apart and all this sort of stuff and how it affected them and everything else. Really cool movie. It took you into their dream world, and their dream world looked like clay characters. They were the real people in the dream world, and all of the characters around them in their dream world were made of plasticine. Plasticine? Yeah. Modeling clay. It was made of that. So that was really cool. But anyway, so Omaka is, Peter Jackson has always had a love of warbird aircraft and everything else, and apparently has quite a collection before he opened the museum that he has at Omaka. And so on the odd years at Easter weekend, he has an air show there. So I've never done that one, but I'm curious to go see it. So, but this is from the 2006 Warbirds over Wanaka. It is the official program. And look how cool this program is. All these beautiful color photographs in there. Oh, hang on. Where was that fireball? So if you have heard me talking about Warbirds over Wanaka, they have all of the things there. I mean, they've got Spitfires and Mustangs and Cessnas and Corsairs and Vampires and the Russian the Yaks. They had the Yaks there. They've had the Japanese Zeros were there. Yeah, they were just, I mean, look at the photography in here is amazing. This is it's a really cool book to have. And this is the airfield here, and this is where all the parking is over here in these paddocks. And you can just see this hill piece here. This hill piece goes the length of this parking area and goes up and becomes a natural grandstand. So down over here is where the airfield is. They have grandstands set up there where you can sit and watch, but you got to pay big bucks to get onto those ones. This is all the static display over here. They have VIP areas and everything else. They have a parking area. So if you're flying in on your private plane or flying yourself in on your private plane or being flown on your private plane, they actually have an aircraft parking area that you can park in. I don't know what it costs for that, but they have that. They are just absolutely, and the air show is just absolutely phenomenal to watch. And they'll bring in some of the jets, and they've had Harriers come in on that one. You've got for some tractors and steam engines. Don't ask me what they have to do with their shows, but they're really cool to see. Where's the where was the, oh yeah, one year they took AJ Hackett, who is the guy who commercialized bungee jumping, took him up in a helicopter, and he bungee jumped from the helicopter at the air show. Yes. Well, there's our red checkers, only the yellow. So the red checkers were the Royal New Zealand Air Force acrobatic team, and this is one of their famous things that they would do, because the type of planes they're using are single prop engines, and they were told these planes weren't designed to fly upside down. So the Air Force just went and did it anyway. They're naughty boys like that. But they used those with the trainers that they would use when they were training the pilots before they got into the jets. That was just for basic pilot training. And they even had blackout canopies that they would put on there for them to come in and practice flying and instrument flying, to fly by their instruments. They had these blackout canopies that they would put on. I'm trying to get to, so when they did the dog fights, they would have explosions like this go off as the plane went over the edge and down into the canyon, because I don't know if this actually shows it. This doesn't show it very well. Oh, kind of, sort of. So you see all the explosions going off in these pictures. This one over here is as a plane went down over the edge of the canyon, which is right by the other side of this wall of fire. So it made it look like they crashed into the ground, and they just went and flew around in the canyon until it was time, until the air show had finished, because it had the good guys against the bad guys and things like that. And they don't actually have one of the airfield that shows the canyon on the other side, but it was just a really cool setup. And oh, this is a really cool aerial view. So this here is taken from the top of that natural grandstand. All these people would come and park with their RVs up the top here. And then you come down the hill. This is all the car parking here. This is the hill that everybody would go and sit on. This is the airfield over here. This is the road that you go into and from Queenstown and Wanaka on. And then over here, you can see the opening to the canyon that they would dive into and have the explosions go off at the end. Really, really cool air show. And I love these programs that they had. Just because they're so colorful, and there's information in them all over the place and everything else. And it's just a really cool day. So that's Warbirds over Wanaka. And then the other thing that I got to find in here as well, actually, before I get to this one. So I noticed, so this is a public service announcement. If you have any lives currently on Facebook, go download them right now. Because I found out it was the 19th of February, that apparently Facebook announced that they were going to start removing any lives that were older than 30 days. So if you did a live, it would only be on the system for 30 days, and then it gets deleted. So there was advising that you go and download them. Now I have, according to my YouTube channel, which is where my lives are also stored, or most of them are stored over there, I have over 3,600 videos on my YouTube channel. Most of them are my lives that I've been doing for 2,065 days. I don't know if I have everything on there. So I'm sort of like, oh, now I've got to go and figure it out. And then somebody suggested to me, says, use AI, have them go in, analyze all the videos on your YouTube channel, then go over to your Facebook page and see if those videos are there, if they're missing any. And I'm like, AI is going to do it. I'm going to give it a go and see. But then the other thing, because, hang on, we need water. Because I'm always talking about telling your story, and during my lives, you hear some part of my story or some part of my ancestors' story as we go along. I thought, wouldn't it be cool to create a book with some of these bits and pieces in? So somebody told me that you can get AI to analyze your videos, and it does all the transcripts and everything else. So then you can go in and you can pull out the pieces that are part of your story and create a book out of those. And so then it got me thinking of all the other uses I could use that for. So we are going to be investigating the different AI programs. I know there's some out there that will do the transcripts, and some that will go a little further on things. And so I'm now going to be going through and working on that. Because anybody can go watch the videos, family can go see the videos and see what I've done there. But to take some of that information and put it into a book for future generations, that's what I'm going to do. Part of my legacy I'm leaving is all those videos, and then books broken up into different topics based on the videos and everything else, and using the video transcripts to write the books. it's still a lot of work, but with the help of AI, it can get done. And then the other thing that I came up with, and I'm sort of like, I'm going to have to put it into. Oh my gosh, they're both in there. Cool. Well, that doesn't need to be in there. I just found something else that's in here. So part of my associate degree, my 3 associate degrees I got from the Northern Virginia Community College, was doing a professional management development program. And this is the certificate of course completion for management by menu. Yes, that was the one that I did. I got that in 1998, December 16th, 1998. That's 12 days before Brad and I got married. So it still has Eakins on there. But this I completed 12 days before Brad and I got married. There you go. Amazing what you find in things. But one of the things that I found, and oh yeah, we did do both of those. One of the things I found was a really cool piece. I'm probably going to get emotional about this, but this was our wedding vows. This was what the celebrant had what the order of the service was going to be. Hang on, it's all on shiny paper. It's not all on shiny. This was the order of the service, who was doing what, where, and how. This was our wedding vows. And then these are, oh yeah, they are in here. They're locked in there? Oh yeah, they are locked in there. And then behind them is the 2 poems that Brad wrote. One was called The House, and the other one is called The Dawn. Now, one of these got read at his funeral, and I can't remember which one, because we couldn't find the one I wanted them to read. I couldn't find, but I found the other one, so we gave them that one to read. And then after Brad's funeral, I found the one that I actually wanted read at the funeral. But there's 2 poems in here that he wrote. So this is what the celebrant held in her hands as she performed our marriage ceremony on December 28th, 1998 at El Ciello's restaurant in Beverly Hills, which is the same, and we stood on the same spot that you see if you've ever watched Legally Blonde in the breakup scene when they're in the restaurant there. Their table is sitting on the spot. Their table sat on the spot. Well, the movie came out in 2001. We got married in 98, so they probably shot it in like 2000. But the spot that they are sitting at the table on is the spot where Brad and I stood and got married. So if you want to see what it looks like, go check it out. Check out the movie. It's right there in the beginning area when they do the breakup scene. And behind Al, you can see like this this frame that's covered in ivy, and they use that as a hoopah. But that's where our musicians sat, and we had a flautist and a violinist. And that's where they sat and played the beautiful music. And then if you're looking at it, on the left-hand side, there's like this hutch dresser. Then there was the hoopah, and then there's a path that comes up, and that's the path that we walked up to walk to that was our aisle piece. That's how we got into the area. And the area that we're in is actually one of those indoor-outdoor patio things. You can actually open the roof part of it. The roof's all glass, and you can actually open it to let fresh air in that. And the ground is all cobblestone. And it's really, really cool. And you come in the front into this Victorian-style house, and the rest of the house and the front patio areas, you're coming through the gate. There's all tables outside there in that patio area. Then you go inside, and they've converted some of the rooms into restaurant areas where there's tables and things. And then you come out into this courtyard area, which has the cobblestones and has the 2 cherub fountains on either side of the middle part of the room where most people stand and get married. They have now, since our wedding, if you're looking at the front of the restaurant on the right-hand side, there's a big building which they have now purchased. They have since purchased since we got married there, and they now use that for bigger events. Before it was just the small, private, intimate ones, but I guess their demand grew, and they've now got this big building next door which does all of their wedding and other celebrations and things like that there. So they've got a big area over there to take larger parties for celebrations and things. So that's my random bits and pieces from things that I found today, things I learned about today. So my question to you is, what's the most random thing you've uncovered in your genealogy or your home lately? A recipe, a receipt, a ribbon, a postcard, some weird-shaped paperclip? Maybe somebody sculpted something out of a paperclip for you. And, this was one other thing I forgot to mention. So This is a pen holder, and I believe I think Brad made this, but it's a pen holder he had on his desk for ages, and I think he made it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but isn't this the cutest little thing you've ever seen? Got a guy sitting at a desk there. Look, he's even got stuff. Oops, I don't know how well that's going to show up. He's even got stuff there with the keyboard, and he's got this little chart thing there. That's stuff on the screen. It's actually broken at the bottom here. I don't know what this is made of, but this is where the pens would go. And you can't actually put a business card there. But this sat on his desk wherever we were, and I found it the other day, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm taking that with me. So, and I have no idea why it has this in there. That looks like it doesn't even have a cord to it. So you've got it's got a fixed end, and it's like an Ethernet connector or phone line connector on there. But there's nowhere for the cable to go, so don't know why that was sitting in there, but it can go back there. Who knows? Maybe the programmer here was using it for his programming. I don't know. But those are some random things from today. So go out, have a super fun. Let us know what random things you've found and the stories behind those pieces, and go out and have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys